Your mama is so stupid, she thinks an iMac is a new hamburger at McDonald's.
Today, we're looking at some of the most bizarre McDonald's menu items from around the world. Ever wonder how the McD's menu differs on other continents? Well, let's take a trip to find out.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Ebi Filet-O Shrimp Burger.
Eat shrimp and die.
No, I'm allergic.
The Filet-O fish has always been a sink-or-swim type of sandwich. Either you love it or you can't stand the fake-tasting fish patty. If you're one of those people who can't stand imposters, the Ebi Filet-O Shrimp Burger from Japan might just be your new favorite fishy item. Ebi stands for shrimp in Japanese, but in this case it also refers to Yuri Ebihara, the Japanese model who helped with the promotion of the sandwich.
Let's put another shrimp on the barbie.
It's like your standard sandwich, only with a patty of panko-battered shrimp instead of beef or chicken. It is also topped with Ebi shrimp tempura sauce, mustard, and lettuce. The Ebi Filet-O shrimp is basically like the Filet-O fish, just with some actual real seafood, instead of that unknown, squared, flavorless white fish patty. If we had that item in North America to replace the Filet-O fish, it's almost guaranteed that it would sell like hotcakes. If you want to recreate this at home and be as accurate as possible, there are some very authentic and precise recipes online to help you in your quest.
Victory!
McCurry Pan.
They are loving it.
If you are tired of constantly throwing away your dishware, well, McD's India has got you covered. The McCurry Pan is a hot serving of vegetable curry baked in a creamy sauce. However, the best part is the rectangular bread bowl it comes in, because yes, you can eat it when you're done. McDonald's in India has clearly taken this whole waste-free packaging to a whole new level with the McCurry Pan. Forget the plastic-free initiatives or the recycling campaigns.
Shame on you!
This is a whole new level of delicious genius. It's the perfect mix of delicious and practical. Of course, you still have to throw away the box it comes in, but at least it's one step in the right direction. This pan is served on the vegetarian menu in India because, well, if you can't eat meat, then at least you can eat the bowl your food comes in. The vegetarian menu was first introduced at locations along religious pilgrimages in India, and it was such a hit, it spread around the country.
Excellent.
While we do have some sort of a bread bowl market in the U.S., it's definitely nothing like this. And not something found on any local McDonald's menu. At least, not yet. Spam Oreo Burger.
Danger, security breach. Danger,
Okay, we all know about Spam, the weird canned meat that's become a staple in a lot of countries. And of course, we all know about Oreos. These delicious cookies are beloved by many. But McDonald's in China decided to take things a giant leap further and create a combination of the two, the Spam Oreo Burger. It was introduced to the menu on December 21st for a one-day-only offer, and people were a little, well, perplexed at first. The burger consisted of a slice of Spam in a bun topped with an Oreo cookie crumb and mayonnaise, which can objectively sound somewhat unappetizing, but as they say, we shouldn't judge a book by its cover. While it may be peculiar for the American market, in China, luncheon meat is a trending food among youngsters nowadays, so much so that there were 400,000 burgers produced and most branches sold out by noon. Surprisingly, the reviews are actually good, so we made one ourselves. Let's just say it looked as awkward as it sounds and tasted as weird as it looks. If you're curious, there's a link in the description. But unless you're a die-hard fan of Spam, maybe sit this one out.
Wow, that was weird.
Twisty Pasta.
Pasta puttanesca?
Where's the roast beef?
How cool would it be if you could eat pasta for breakfast? Better yet, a pasta soup to get an even more comforting meal. In Hong Kong, if you ever feel like eating pasta first thing in the morning, you can do so by going to your local McD's. The Twisty Pasta is basically a soup with twisty noodles, not too far off from ramen, topped with an egg and a sausage patty, some ham, or even chicken during lunchtime. There's no better way to start the day than with a hot, hearty bowl of soup. And with the addition of pasta, it will surely fill you up enough to get you through the rest of the day. Chances are, we're probably never going to get this one in America.
I mean, why? Why?
It's a pretty common occurrence to eat soup for breakfast in Asia, but sadly, here it's not. Some are still unsure if cold pizza can be considered a proper breakfast, so soup isn't on the table at the moment. Nevertheless, how great would it be to get the Twisty Pasta on our menu? Just to be able to enjoy soup at McDonald's would be awesome, but to get it for breakfast just seems even better. If you really want to try this unusual breakfast, you can always try to recreate it at home, but it probably won't be the same as the real McDeal.
Let me show you my world. All right? The real deal.
Bubblegum Squash McFlurry.
Can I have a 5-piece chicken? But instead of the Coke, I want a McFlurry.
There's pretty much no McFlurry flavor that doesn't sound exquisite. Forget about your everyday Oreo or basic M&M McFlurry. How about a Bubblegum Squash McFlurry? A what, you say? This sweet concoction can be found on the Australian and New Zealand McDonald's menus and was quite popular, especially among the kids. Now, before you get too worried, no, there's no actual squash in any way, shape, or form mixed in with this McFlurry. Squash is simply Australian slang for marshmallow. Feel better now?
Remember the marshmallows in Thailand?
Yeah?
I made it so you could eat at least 3 before hitting a fatal dose.
And there's also no actual bubblegum, which is kind of a bummer, if we're being honest. This frozen dessert was basically a soft serve mixed with luscious pink and blue bubblegum syrup swirls and some mini marshmallows to give it that extra fluffiness. Even though this McFlurry flavor seems like it might be one of the strangest yet, when you think about it, something must have been done seriously right if it's so popular, no? Well, was so popular. Now it's nowhere to be found, and people are desperately trying to get it back. There are even some online petitions to bring this beloved flavor back.
Don't go!
Nurnberger Sandwich.
I promise you, there's nothing gross in this sausage.
Sausages are probably the thing they do best in Germany. They make all kinds of tasty varieties, and they sure don't mess around when it comes to their precious bratwurst. So it goes without saying that McDonald's in Germany would include sausages on their menu one way or another. Cue the Nurnberger Sandwich. The Nurnberger Sandwich consisted of 3 bratwurst served on a bun with a generous amount of mustard and onions. The only thing that might sound bizarre about this item is the lack of a beef patty. We're so used to having one, and sometimes even more than one, that a burger without it just seems off. And it does seem a little ambitious to awkwardly try and cram 3 sausages on a hamburger bun without expecting a big mess.
This is the biggest sausage fest on earth.
It's the International House of Sausage.
But hey, it still sounds delicious either way. This mighty sandwich was a celebration of German cuisine at its finest and was a nod to the country's heritage. The name and concept of the burger are said to come from Uli Hoeneß, a former German soccer star who currently owns a sausage factory, with Nurnberger being a regionally popular sausage. Sadly though, this sandwich only lasted for about 3 months before it was discontinued from McD's menu.
Get out!
Prosperity Burger.
Live long and prosper.
Have you ever wished that eating a burger from McDonald's could bring you some good fortune? Well, the Prosperity Burger from McDonald's in countries like Malaysia, Singapore, and China might do just that. The Chinese New Year-themed burger, which is sadly not available all year long, mysteriously resembles the beloved McRib and features an elongated beef or chicken patty coated in a spicy pepper sauce topped with onions and served on a sesame bun.
Try the sauce. I'm soaked in it.
It's available in single or double size, you know, if you want to double your portion of prosperity. And you could order it as part of the Prosperity Feast. It includes the Prosperity Twister Fries, a Peach McFizz, and a Mango Passion Fruit Pie. Its anticipated return usually coincides with the Chinese New Year, and with every Prosperity meal purchased, you can receive a set of 6 McDonald's red packets for free, in which you usually distribute money as part of the New Year tradition. This burger isn't necessarily bizarre for what it is. It frankly sounds delicious and a sure hit.
When you eat them, it's like you're taking in wealth.
Oh, I like that.
But it's the fact that it looks so much like the McRib. Why is it so similar, and why can't we get one too? Who knows, we might get lucky too and end up with some prosperity for the year 2021. McChicken Mozzarella.
Dad, cheese truck.
At Burger King, they've started stuffing some of their burgers with onion rings, and at first, people weren't too much on board, but after giving it a try, they were quickly won over. Now, imagine McDonald's doing the exact same thing, but with some mozzarella sticks instead. Sounds like a must-try, right?
Yes!
Well, South Korea already beat us to it, and it looked absolutely divine. To sum up this delicious concoction in only a few words, it was your plain old McChicken stuffed with 2 mozzarella sticks and spicy arrabbiata sauce. That basically describes most people's ideal sandwich. As a limited-time offer, the McChicken Mozzarella had some pretty mixed reviews. Some people claimed that it was way too messy and that it didn't live up to the hype, and others said that it was the best thing McDonald's could have possibly come up with. The hefty sandwich, at least the height of 2 Big Macs, came bearing a lot of delicious promises.
I give you my word!
And only lived up to some people's expectations. Either too much sauce or not enough, too sweet or too spicy, no one seemed to agree 100% on how great the McChicken Mozzarella was. As people who have never tried it, we can only hope that this match made in heaven tasted as good as it looks. We need to do anything we can to keep the fantasy of mozzarella sticks in a burger alive. Mashed potato burger.
It was the best burger I ever had. I still have dreams about this burger.
If you've ever eaten McDonald's and thought that something was missing, but you couldn't quite put your finger on what, maybe it was a scoop of mashed potatoes.
This isn't it.
Or at least in China, they seem to think so. When you first think about it, yes, it sounds weird to put mashed potatoes in a burger, but who here has ever put their fries in a burger? The answer is probably a lot, so the idea to mash the fries before adding them doesn't seem so silly after all. As part of their Manly Man campaign of 2012, McDonald's in China wanted to take their burgers to the next level of manliness, whatever that means. The mashed potato burger consisted of 2 beef patties, bacon, and, well, mashed potatoes. The campaign seemed to infer that bacon and mashed potatoes were a critical step on a person's journey to manhood. As much as the burger itself sounds kind of tasty, that goal could have just as easily served the mashed potatoes as a side. That way the bun wouldn't be compromised and destined to be soggy, or so many of the reviews say. It's truly a mystery why this burger still hasn't popped up anywhere in America.
Maybe later.
It seems like it would be a perfect fit, and with all the weird foods already out there, this certainly wouldn't be the craziest. McRice Burger.
Yeah, we don't see a lot of potatoes around here. We're rice men.
If you ever feel like the bun on your burger is just too darn boring and you want to change things up a bit, or maybe if you're trying to stay in shape but still want to indulge in some McD's, then you can head to the Philippines, Indonesia, Singapore, or even Taiwan to get your hands on the McRice Burger. Or at least you could. It looks like this healthy alternative is no longer available anywhere. It was basically what the name suggests, a regular burger, but instead of a bun, the whole thing was stuffed between 2 patties of sticky rice. For the contents, you could get it with either beef, fried chicken, and even shrimp, and it came with shredded lettuce and onions. The McRice Burger is technically still available, just without the rice patties. So basically just the insides of the burger served on a regular bun or English muffin.
The wonderful crew at McDonald's for spending hours making those Egg McMuffins.
It doesn't sound as much fun, though. You've probably heard of lettuce-wrapped burgers, which is basically the American way to substitute the bun and is the most commonly used technique by local fast food chains. Newsflash, lettuce leaves aren't as solid as a real bun.
You gotta eat the lettuce, just straight up eat the lettuce.
So at least with the McRice, you had a much better chance your burger would still hold together. So until the McRice comes back, maybe stick to your buns. At least that way, you'll get a proper burger. Did you find something that you'd really like to try? Let us know in the comments below. And of course, tap that screen for another great video. First time here? Well, hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell.